Hey guys, what's going on? It's Gale right here, back on the 5-9 channel with another Genshin Impact video. And today we're going to be talking about the top 10 things we want from Genshin in 2021. A lot of things to talk about, a lot of things to discuss, a lot of points that we think, are important for Genshin in 2021. Of course, you guys can let us know down in the comment section below what you guys want to see from Genshin Impact. And of course, I have with me 4 other people who will be giving their own opinions: Tystra, Trevor, Troko, and Waffles. So we'll start off with our first point, and that is to see some changes in Resin. Changes to Resin. Now, this obviously would not be a Genshin Impact video or stream from 5-9 if we didn't complain about Resin, of course. We all know Genshin suffers from a Resin problem where people would want to play for more than 1 to 2 hours beyond the dailies, and natural Resin that is refreshed overnight or saved up. And while the recent changes to Resin, with the addition of condensed Resin, uncapping the cap to 160, no longer requiring Resin for large-scale events, and adding Resin to the Battle Pass, it's still a bit daunting for a lot of players due to the lack of fragile resin generally just given out, and the resin refresh time as well, which is at 8 minutes per resin, which is extremely slow for a lot of players. And as such, we would like to see that being the very first changes we want. These changes can be including increasing the amount of fragile resin that is given out by 20 from 60 to 80, and that would also be in line with how they uncapped the resin from 120 to 160. Really suitable. Another change that can be added is the addition of fragile resin to event shops, so you can get like say 2 to 4 per event. Again, something that would be extremely giving and appreciated by a lot of players, so why not? Especially those players who do not buy the battle pass. Again, very usable and very friendly. Raising the max capacity of resin, while is a great idea, especially as they add more regions, more domains, and more bosses, a change that needs to go hand in hand with that is, again, like we mentioned, reducing the refresh time from 8 minutes to 5 minutes or less, as it just gives players a lot more playtime. And not only that, as you go further and further in and we get more and more domains and bosses, and especially if the resin uncaps, you want to try and get maximum resin within 1 day at least, because right now 160 resin means a total 24-hour refresh time basically to get from 0 to 160 again, which is really slow. Come on, miHoYo, we need it done. Hopefully soon. The second point is something that's arguably already happened and is going to happen in the 1.3 update as well, but it would still be appreciated to hammer down and hopefully get more from it rather than what we've already gotten. And we've had resounding reception to it, but the next thing we want to see is free units or weapons being given out. Now, we've already had Fischl being given out in the 1.1 update via the Unreconciled event, and of course, Fischl being amazing, that was a very good move from miHoYo to make, for the fact that we could get a free Fischl off jump. If you didn't have her, you've got her. If you had her, you've got a constellation in her. And if you didn't have her at all, or you had her at C6, I apologize, it's, I guess, Star Glitter for those who needed, I suppose. But yeah, the 2 times we got Barbara as well, very good as starting healer for a lot of new players, especially because the second time we did get Barbara for free, it was a permanent thing in that players had to just reach, I think it was rank 20, and you would get her for free, which is great. Further additions such as the above will be extremely wanted, and it has already been noted that in 1.3 we are going to be able to choose from a total of 6 characters. I think it is Ningguang, Jinyan, Jingxi, Beidou, and Chongyun. And I think there's one more that I'm forgetting about that I need to immediately check. Again, Zhangling, of course. So there are a lot of options already for characters, and I'm glad that each update we're getting a new character or weapon to choose from. So good steps from miHoYo already, and I'd like to see more of this. And speaking about weapons, of course, we've gotten the Festering Desire just recently in the 1.2 update, which is a really solid weapon and especially has been utilized really well with Albedo. So being able to get more weapons like that, and maybe having multiple weapon types but with the same skill. So for example, the Festering Desire, we got it in the sword version. How about the same skill and everything but in a bow version or a polearm version or catalyst version, and so on and so forth, so that players get the option to choose which one they want to pick up. And also it can work out that maybe there's another character that we don't know about that can utilize it really well. As such, it would be just a great way for players to appreciate the way miHoYo is handing things out, but also give them the option as well. But that's all from my 2 points. We'll move on to the next person who'll be sharing their 2 points that they want to talk about in terms of what they would like to see from Genshin Impact in 2021.
Dendro units are on the horizon sooner than you might think. With the introduction of the new Dendro characters potentially this year, a big thing I would like is a reworking of the Dendro reactions. The only reaction currently for Dendro is with Pyro, and it just burns to death. Pretty useless. I think some interesting things would be examples like crippling the enemy with Dendro and Cryo, healing yourself and allies, Dendro and Hydro, double damage on hit, Dendro and Geo, and potentially a movement speed bonus with Dendro and Anemo. This is obviously just my personal thoughts, but it would be interesting to see what they could do with the element with the new characters. Another important aspect of Genshin Impact is the Spiral Abyss. 2021 could bring some very interesting game modes and mechanics to the event that I think would really add some fluff and in-game content for us tryhards. Some suggestions would be maybe a ladder mode where you can see how fast you can defeat the stage with a certain buff or debuffs of that week, and see how you raid with others in the community. This would add some much needed pseudo PvP to the game that would really bring some hype to Genshin in a similar way to how Diablo 3 does. This would also add some co-op aspects to Spiral Abyss, where you essentially do the same floor-based system, but it's specific to co-op, and see how far you can get and how fast you can complete the floors. This would add a more consistent co-op mechanic instead of the regular events and open world content that we have now, as well as give players the ability to earn guaranteed 5 stars, even if they aren't that good at the game, but have well friends.
The next one on our list is one that seems quite likely given how the story plays out. There are still so many nations left unexplored by the current map, and as we've seen with the Dragonspine update, the developers definitely seem interested in branching out into new and honestly pretty challenging areas. Dragonspine even brought a new factor into play, sheer cold, that keeps us all on our toes and worried about the cold. But Genshin's Impact story offers many opportunities for varied gameplay and different types of puzzles, so new regions can each bring their own unique challenges like Dragonspine's sheer cold. However, the really cool thing about Dragonspine is that it wasn't already an established nation in the story, which shows that the developers have other ideas and we could see an already pretty big world grow into MMO sizes. But at the end of the day, a huge part of the fun in Genshin is getting the chance to roam around and explore new things. So we hope that as 2021 continues on, we see the map continuing to expand into new territory and new challenges. However, what's the fun of exploring if you can't do it with a friend? Or a lot of friends. While co-op is certainly nice, we want to see 2021 bring guilds into the equation. Guilds can be a great way to make new friends and work together with old friends to achieve common goals. That can bring about a sense of unity among the player base as we all work together to achieve so much more than we could do individually. Who knows? Maybe they can even introduce large-scale raids that guilds would be perfect for. A guild system can also add a new level of competitiveness that will keep us all playing for much longer. Many people want to have the best and strongest guilds, so naturally, a portion of the player base will do their best to keep grinding and getting stronger. It's a win-win for both the players and the developers.
With the grind for character EXP in Genshin Impact mainly from the books you receive from leylines and events, it can be challenging to get all the characters you want to at least a usable level. At one moment you can have an overabundance of books that you have been saving for one character for months and months, and the next moment they are all gone. One of the things that could really help this issue is to increase the amount of character EXP given for each monster kill. Because let's face it, we kill more enemies in the game compared to as many books as we get. If an increase was given to enemy character EXP and or even giving ley lines a boost in EXP, we could see a lot more diversity in character usage around the community, and many would get to play with a multitude of different characters and builds. And leveling up is not just an issue with your characters alone. Outside of an ever-growing collection of waifus, husbandos, and gods alike, we have a plethora of weapons and artifacts that also need to be leveled up. Not only do weapons have the same amount of ascension slots as characters do, but they also suffer from an issue when it comes to gathering their materials. While enhancement materials can be farmed by mining, it can be sometimes a hassle when you use up all your materials to level up one weapon. And don't even get me started on artifact level grinding, it sucks. The only way to level up your artifacts at all is other artifacts. It's a constant cycle of one moment having an overabundance to having none at all. One thing that could help this out is to first add enhancement materials to ley lines. That would bring more playability to ley lines and give us a new reason to farm them. Not only that, but you could also do one of two things for artifacts. 1. Add a new material that could be used to level up the artifacts and add them to ley lines. Or 2. Have artifacts use enhancement materials that weapons currently use, add them to ley lines, and make it a decent drop rate to keep the player base happy, while also giving your ley lines a much needed refresher.
Something I want to see happen in 2021 are new artifact sets to benefit you in your world exploration. Now, these sets won't be combat-based, like adding additional damage to Cryo or Pyro. Rather, these sets would be giving a bonus to your swim speed, movement speed, stamina regeneration, or even a chance to find higher rarity items in chests or drops from monsters. Ideally, I would want this to be a 4-star artifact set so you don't have to go hunting down a lot of 5-stars, and if they're 4 stars, they could drop naturally at plus 16, with predetermined rolls of flat HP, flat attack, flat defense, and, maybe like HP plus 5 or something like that. Nothing that will give you an advantage in any combat situation, but enough that if you're wearing it in the world, you're not going to get one-shotted by any enemy pretty much. Now, if these artifact sets are a 2 or 3 piece set, you could still run a Cryo or Hydro damage bonus or Pyro, whatever piece you want to run, whatever artifact set you want to run that has a 2 piece. This could increase the efficiency of farming in your world when you're hunting for rare drops from mobs, so something I definitely want to see in 2021 are more versatile artifact sets. Co-op mode in Genshin is something I want to see expanded upon in 2021, with new additions like a spectator mode, a way to revive in domains, and fixing what you can do in other players' worlds. For some reason, you cannot cook in other people's worlds, you cannot craft or anything like that. It seems like it should be a simple fix, so I would hope something like that is fixed in 2021, because it is annoying having to leave someone else's world, come back to mine, cook, and then rejoin. Another co-op adjustment I would like to see is a raid system. Having an 8-man party to take down a superpowered boss would be pretty cool. Having played WoW for a long time and enjoying raids on that game, I do feel this game is lacking some kind of endgame co-op content. At endgame, I don't really farm domains with other people anymore because 4 people is definitely very inefficient, and 2 people is whatever, but personally I get by just fine farming any domain just by myself. So having some actual endgame content to do with other people is something I want to see in 2021. Anyways, that's going to wrap up our list for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy, and let us know down in the comments below if we missed anything, and in the description will be all of our links to our socials. So hope you guys did enjoy, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.